What do you have to do before you apply your leveling compound?
Wash the piece.
Excuse me?
Wash the piece.
That's good. That's something that you should do before you start already preparing. But that's also very, very good. You need a primer before you put your leveling compound. And like I learned in the last day, same issues, maybe 1 of 10 job sites, you got a screed where just a normal primer is needed. So it means the screed is hard, it's not humid, so you really need a bonding bridge for the leveling compound later on. So a normal primer. What do you prime? For sure, to get a good connection for the leveling compound. If you want prime, and once again, the leveling compounds are not anymore so, how can I say, dust like 15 or 20 years ago. They are quite a bit high-tech products. So you saw this leveling compound here. I just stepped in after, I think not even an hour, and it's not ready for installation, but it's ready for walkable. And I was happy that we used this because I really stepped in not on purpose. It was just, I was talking, hey. But we will see later on the application of that as well. A primer also makes sure that the absorbency of the screed is the same. Why? Otherwise, the water out of the leveling compound will simply penetrate too fast. So water in the leveling compound is not only to be mixed, for sure, this is the main work, if you want it like that, for the leveling compound, but it's also there to allow the ingredients to get strong together. And if you take the water too fast away, which means no primer, it will go in the screed, and then you won't have any connection in between the molecules and some more chemical stuff, that it won't get strong. That's what will happen. And then you possibly have just powder on top. And you didn't get anything. So priming and leveling compound are every time related to each other. And best thing is, every time when you are using a leveling compound or a repair compound, use a primer. And it's not needed to be an, I don't know, a moisture barrier or something like that, an ordinary and normal dispersion primer. If everything is good. Like I learned, this is not so many times because you many times have some other issues. But for example, for an, once again, normal screed, which is pure, not humid, strong enough, and you need a leveling compound pre your installation of LVT vinyl floors, you should put your leveling compound. And therefore, I would like, I'm happy that I don't have to put it again out of this big canister into the bucket, because before of that we messed a little bit around, but now it's already here. So the Wakol 3003, it's a dispersion that sounds so weird with 333. I don't even want to see this on the camera, how the 33 is looking like. So the 3003, it's a dispersion-based primer. Can be applied on all absorbent subfloors. It's ready to use, and the consumption is around 150 grams, maybe 200, depending on the absorbency. And the nice thing is simply the curing time. It's around half an hour, maybe 25 minutes. It's really depending on the conditions. And then it is ready for the application of leveling compound. Once again, it's really a cost-effective primer, pre or leveling compounds, where you should definitely use it every time. So the 3303, it's ready to use. It's also possible to get a concentrate, but the guys from Simbos mix it already ready to use for any installer, so they don't have to think about any ratio. This is we can bring this also from Germany here, but you will simply pay for the water out of Pirmasens, which is a great water, but not need to pay for the transport of the water from Germany. So that's why we decide to have the ready-to-use primer, so also that nobody will make some mistakes by the dilution. Great. Oh. So once again, there won't be a really big magic. It's a fast and modern primer, pre or leveling compound. Now you want to apply this, yeah? Anything else you did not want to do, huh? There's not so much to see on the camera. Keep the SD card free for Pew 280. That's all what you have to do. So you don't need more, half an hour, ready for installation. So really not a big thing, but definitely the magic which will happen, if you want, like that, is for the leveling compound, to make sure that you will have a good and proper connection for the leveling compound later on. Half an hour, then you should put your leveling compound and you're fine with that.
Sorry, question?
Yes, sir.
So if you put a leveling compound on that, will the leveling floor take longer to dry before you lay? Because of the...
You have to let it dry to dry, and after half an hour you are ready.
I'm talking about once you've done the leveling.
What do you mean? On screed or on chipboard? Let's imagine that this is the screed, because if you put it, won't take longer. So it's the same time. If the primer is needed, and then the curing time, it's depending from formulation to formulation of the leveling compound, and it will be ready depending how thick it is, the conditions, 12 hours, 24 hours, depending also how thick you are going. But putting a primer won't slow down the curing of the leveling compound. Definitely not. But good question. Thank you very much.